Are you wondering what to expect in the housing market at the end of this year? Well, in this video, I'm chatting with my preferred lender, Jess Fischer, and we're gonna be talking about what to expect in the housing market in Q4. And you're gonna wanna stick around until the end because we talk about whether or not you should buy now or wait until the spring of 26. If this is your first time to the channel, welcome. This channel is all about living in the Salida, Colorado area and the real estate market here. So if that interests you, please be sure and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you're the first to know when new informative videos become available. My name is Monica McCarthy and I'm a realtor that specializes in Salida and surrounding areas. And I get calls all the time from people just like you looking to move here. So whether you're thinking of moving here in a few weeks or a few months, please reach out to me and email me and schedule a time to chat, and I'd be happy to help you make a smooth transition to the Salida, Colorado area. This is Jess Fischer, my preferred mortgage broker, and he works all of Colorado and will be able to give us some good insights into the mortgage industry right now and what to expect at the end of 2025. Okay, so first, give us a little bit of a snapshot. We're filming this the beginning of Q4 2025. What's going on right now?
What's going on right now is rates have been coming down.
Yeah.
So that's been positive. A lot of buyers are starting to see the environment is becoming more conducive to purchasing a home.
Yeah.
So we're kind of getting a little bit more interest. You know, what normally would be wrapping up the end of kind of the home buying season.
Yeah.
We're starting to see a little bit of an increased interest in purchasing for people that can.
Sure.
Yeah.
The people that have been kind of on the sidelines as rates were higher for the last year or two.
Yeah, last couple of years. Also people looking for refinance as well too.
Oh, okay.
So been doing quite a few of those. You know, there's a lot of people that, depending on their timing, ended up in the 7s, you know.
Yeah.
And rates right now are right around 6, kind of depending on how the loan's structured.
Sure.
And all the, you know, things that go along with pricing. Low 6s, high 5s is what I'm pricing
That's
right
pretty
now.
good. We haven't seen that in a while, right?
Yeah, and that's unconventional. That's not even government loans, which are more firmly in the 5s.
Oh, okay.
FHA, VA, stuff like that,
Gotcha.
more firmly in the 5s. So that's a big improvement from where we were before.
Really big improvement. So yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of sighs of relief from buyers right now. Yeah. And so right now, you know, like I said, we're the end of the year when it's normally a time of year that people kind of, unless you absolutely have to buy, a lot of people just think, oh, I'll wait until spring of 2026. But because we're starting to see these rates finally go down, if you've watched our videos from the beginning of the year, we've been talking about this happening all year long and it's finally happening. But so what does that mean for this Q4? Or you think they're gonna go down more? Should people, you know, hold tight and watch them go down or act now while they're lower?
Yeah, I think there's a lot happening right now and I think there's some misperceiving of what's going on. And so to kind of zoom out a little bit.
Okay.
Inventory, like we talked about earlier, you know, it kind of peaked and then it's kind of coming down a little bit. Mm-hmm. So typically when we see higher inventory, we see lower prices.
Sure.
Right? But with rates coming down, we're starting to see an increase in buyer demand.
Okay.
Now, it being the end of the home buying season, I'm not saying people are coming out of the woodwork increased buyer demand. It's just relative to, you know, usually this time period.
Yeah.
Typically, home prices are lower in the off season, right? And they kind of peak during, we'll just say June.
Sure.
And so one of the nice things, because how high the inventory is and being the off season, prices have come down. I don't expect them to come down much more. I would say relatively stay flat over this off season. Rates are supposed to continue to go down. The Fed is supposed to cut rates maybe 2 more times before the end of the year or before February.
Oh, okay.
Now, we talked about a bunch of times on here that the Fed cutting rates doesn't necessarily have a direct effect to mortgage rates. It's more just an indicator of the financial environment that we're in.
Yeah.
So I don't really expect mortgage rates to come down a whole lot more by the end of the year. I think we'll see rates come down more towards the spring kind of time frame, as long as the overall economy is on the same path that it seems to be starting down.
Okay.
So I think Q4, probably flat home prices, maybe a little decrease in rates.
Okay.
I think that if somebody was able to or interested in buying, I think this off season actually would be probably a pretty good time to do it.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, and I know if you watch my videos about the Salida, Colorado real estate market that have been camping out, and now you've got some motivated sellers who want to sell before the holidays, and you can oftentimes see that with the multiple price reductions. So it is another indicator that it could be a good time to find a good deal as a buyer, particularly on homes that have been sitting all summer long. wrong end now. Unless the seller's in a situation where they just want to take it off the market and they're stuck at whatever price that they're at. But a lot of times that's not the case. They do actually need to sell, and you can find a pretty decent deal.
Yeah. So as far as like price growth, to give, this is a national, some national numbers. Price growth 2 quarters ago was around 2.3%.
Okay.
The price growth has slowed down to about 1.9%.
Okay.
So it is decreasing. On a national level, 1 in 5 homes are seeing a price reduction.
Wow.
So, it is coming down. A lot of that, the place where it's impacting the most is in the South. So if you look at homes across the country, from Florida to Arizona, you see price reduction.
Okay.
It's a little bit in Colorado, more southern, southeastern, central Colorado.
Okay.
Where we're seeing homes increase in value is upper Midwest, Northeast, upper Rockies, Montana, Idaho, Wyoming. We're seeing price increases. And so basically, if you generally cut the United States in half, price decreases in the southern half, price increases in the northern half is what's happening.
Okay. So for Colorado, you said it's kind of a mixed bag then.
It's literally split. Well, it ends the southwest. If you were to divide Colorado into fourths, the southwest portion of Colorado is seeing decreases while the rest of it is seeing very, very modest increases.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're kind of in the middle of that in the Salida area. So we're I'm telling people, correct me if I'm wrong, that we're not really necessarily seeing an increase and not really seeing a steep decrease.
Yeah.
We're in this little, and we've been doing this for a while, this little plateau, steady kind of situation when it comes to home prices here. So if you're waiting for that giant price drop in the Salida, Colorado area, I don't think it's going to happen.
I agree. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we probably, one of the things when we talk about markets, we talk about mean reversion. So even if you look at a stock, it goes up so much and it's going to come back down some eventually. Nothing just goes straight up forever.
Sure.
And, inventory was up, rates were up. Mm-hmm. We're starting to kind of, crest that peak, we'll call it, or trough, depending on how you want to look at it.
Okay.
But we're kind of cresting that, and the environment's starting to change. There's going to be a lag on buyer demand, mainly because rates are being cut and are lowered here in the off season.
Yeah.
So, when we're talking 2026, as long as we continue with the rate reductions, buyer demand's going to come in. It's going to decrease inventory, which therefore home prices are going to go up.
Okay. So I guess that tells us what I was just going to ask you. So we've been talking about what it is right now. Predictions for the beginning of next year. Should somebody wait until spring then and see if rates go down even more?
I wouldn't wait. I actually think, at least in the near term, barring any sort of kind of catastrophic event, which we can talk about that too. I don't expect that to happen.
Sure.
I think the next 6 months is probably a really good premium time to buy. Rates are a little bit lower. Home prices have dropped and kind of leveled out. I don't think they're going to go down much more. And you can always refinance.
That's true.
And so even if something were to happen and rates jump back up, well, you're sitting on a 6% or a high 5% mortgage.
Yeah.
If it goes back up, you're a genius, and if it goes down, then you refinance. So I think the next 6 months is really just a really good time to buy. I think the best balance of rate and home price is probably as good as it's gonna get, in particular in this area, because there's such high demand.
There is high demand, and like I said, our inventory is still pretty decent. It's not escalating as much as it was this summer. We're seeing fewer homes come on the market, but we did have a good influx of inventory come on. And so you still have decent choices as a buyer.
Yeah, that's a great point. Because that can be hard here.
It is hard. You do have to be a little bit willing to look at a few options. We don't have cookie cutter homes at all. So you have to, look at a few options, which I'd be happy to, chat with you about what those would be. But you do have more choices right now than you normally do this time of year. So that's something to consider if you are 100%. Considering this area. So the end of 2025 into the beginning of 26, we might see a scattering of new homes come on the market, but not a ton. But those rates are going to be continuing to be favorable, it sounds like.
Yeah, we are in an interest rate reduction environment, and I expect that to continue for, I don't know, probably the next year to 18 months.
Okay.
Barring again any catastrophic things.
We can't predict that.
But I would maybe even over the next 2 years. And so
okay.
if inventory is going down and rates are going down, buyer demand is going to come in. There's going to be a lag. But what is true, and it has been historically, is builders can't build fast enough. So it's kind of this slinky effect. Inventory goes up, prices go down, generally speaking. With rates coming down, buyers start coming into the market. The further rates come down, the more the buyers come in and eat up the inventory, and builders can't catch up to it.
Yeah.
And so then that causes the home prices to go up. And so I think home prices will continue to rise as long as rates, are going down, or at least in the lower range.
Okay.
I think a lot of families that are sitting on 3% mortgages plus or minus 1% that have outgrown their homes.
Yeah.
They're not going to have to downsize. They'll be able to get an equal trade for their home or increase. They'll be able to afford that.
Gotcha.
So I think over the next 2 years, we're actually going to see an increase of home prices. And then, if inventory does catch up, which in Colorado, that hasn't been the case for a really, really long time.
It's struggling.
Then, I think we're going to have that. So I think the next 6 months, if people can afford and they find a house that they like, I say jump on
pull the trigger. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Okay, well, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about getting a mortgage or getting pre-approved, we got to plug that. Get pre-approved before you start looking at those homes. And one person to help you with that in Colorado is Jess. And if you've got questions about the Salida, Colorado real estate market, if you want to dive a little deeper into what homes are available here, please reach out to me. Either way, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate your time and have a wonderful day.